Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Harris, CEO of Koopi.
Hello. I'm a musician. Sorry. Hello. I am Nicholas Hrboka, aka Boka, CTO of Koopi.
Yeah, we were going to have Domagoj on stage, who's a CEO from GDE Entertainment. Unfortunately, he has a private emergency in the family, so he's have to fly back to Zagreb. We will do a short introduction of GDE Entertainment and then continue with the rest of our presentation. Yep. GDE Entertainment is a software studio in Zagreb, 30 employees, traditional Web 2 gaming company. And the fun factor for them is very important. So everyone in their company has a gaming background, gaming enthusiasts. They focus very heavily on entertainment side of things. And when they were interested in bringing gaming and crypto together, they did a long stint of 2 years of research trying to find out what the advantages were of crypto, how they can blend it into their users, and how not to make the mistake of a lot of different crypto games that have been out there. And that's basically when we came in. So Koopi is a company founded to bridge Web 2 to Web 3 transition. We actually focus on the B2B end, figure out what it is a company wants to do, and make sure that, we find whatever possible common things we can find together in the crypto market, which crypto, as we all know, it is a little bit like the Wild West. So, very commonly known that the Wild West has a lot of gold seekers. A lot of people are in there for the opportunity to look for fame and fortune. A lot of day traders. Obviously, in the last 2 years, that's been a bear market, so that enthusiasm has been a bit lower. And we look at it completely differently. So we look at the crypto market as being great, lots of gold seekers, and we wanted to focus on everything around it. So if there's people looking for gold, if there's shovels to be supplied to the market, then we'll supply shovels. If we want to have transport, there will be a need for transportation. So from our angle, we're looking at supplying all of the basically accessories, facilities, services around the market to make sure that it works. Collaboration is of course, a very big, important thing in crypto. I myself have a background in hardware, and where you see traditionally the hardware market and servers, for example, was very focused on keeping everything in-house. You saw a shift towards cloud, where collaboration became a far bigger part of having open source, even so making IBM a big shift towards open source, more and more. And crypto is like the next step on it. It's basically impossible to do a successful crypto project working solely on a project. It's a lot more about who do you work with, how do you find the match, and so on. So partnerships are very much like dating. It's very much about finding your commonalities, finding how you can blend your interests with the interests of audiences. So if we look at what we did with Strike Protocol, is they had a very strong focus and audience on gaming. And the general idea was, okay, how can we bring gaming and crypto and investment together? And it was basically sitting with a team on a couple of different meetings, figuring out, okay, which common interests do we have? Where are the alliances to be found? How do we match it? Basically like a dating site service. And figuring out, okay, we have gamers that are interested in crypto. We have crypto people that are interested in gaming. Now, right now, this market is in a big transition, and it's a question of finding what you want. Investors are very happy to invest in Web3 because we all know the coming, let's say, 10 years are going to be a period where there's a lot to be found. Gamers, however, not super enthusiastic about crypto. Crypto people not super enthusiastic about gaming. So it comes down to bridging the gap. Basically, like any bridge, there's this transitional phase. If you look at how Web 2 transitioned into, Web 1 transitioned into Web 2, you will see that the first things that started happening on gaming there was the free-to-play element. Now, back then, free-to-play was considered idiotic. No one's ever going to want to do it. How on earth are you going to make money? And that entire model has actually proven extremely valuable because it's accepted by millions of players around the world. And the same case here, it's a question of, all right, you have the traditional distributors of games that are seeing crypto as kind of the enemy because they're taking away the fiat money stream, which they don't want to give up. On the other hand, they want to utilize it as well. So from our end, it's all about utility, adding utility, creating value, bringing value to two sides on the bridge. And Boca is going to give a really interesting speech on the utility side.
Right now? If you're going to put me on the spot right now?
I can do my...
You have like another minute.
I can do my Tim the Toolman impression. It's like...
I should have cut you off.
Yeah, I know.
All right, here you go. So, hi, once again, Boca, CTO. Are there a lot of devs by any chance here? Techie guys, maybe? I like to talk a little bit more about the tech. We're going to be talking utility first with Koopi, and then I'm going to kind of get into how we're bridging that utility to help Strike Protocol and work with GDE and so forth. So the first thing I want to mention is utilities. So crypto's a really weird space. I like to look at this house as a good example. So housing back in the day didn't have electricity, Wi-Fi, etc., running water systems. Those are utilities. Utilities in the same sense that we have utilities on chain for tokens and other kinds of projects, etc. Now, when electricity came out, when Wi-Fi came out, you can add it to your house. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But what if your house was a smart contract? What if it was a token? What if you had released it a couple years ago and you thought this is as good as it gets? And then next thing you know, electricity comes out. Electricity is really nice to have, but at the time, no one cared because it didn't exist. So the problem lies in the immutability. So immutable versus scale is one of my favorite topics. I almost did a whole presentation just on that separately, but
I took it out.
He brought me back to earth a little bit. So the big thing is immutability. Immutability is what we love about the blockchain. It's what makes the blockchain blockchain. You cannot change the data. It is there. You can trust it. It's essentially trustless. Now, that doesn't work very well with scaling, like with modern companies, web apps, and other stuff. Because when they scale, they build stuff that could be changed, that they can fix, and etc. So, how do we solve something like this? The first thing I'm going to talk about is RevShare. Now, RevShare is one of our first utilities that we're releasing onto the market, and it is essentially a win-win. Why is it a win-win? I didn't memorize my bullet points. But essentially with RevShare, we've built a utility that can be added on to any project, any token, deployed or not. And I'll get into that a little more. But first, let's talk about what is RevShare. Revenue sharing is basically the idea that you can share your revenue with your holders, the people in your project, your investors, so forth. As Tim will love to put it, it's the staking killer.
Yep.
So,
well, the basic concept is, if you look at staking over the last 2 to 3 years, the initial concept of staking, of course, was super. You ask investors to buy into a product, to look up their tokens, and that is considered loyalty. The big problem with that is that it only captures the loyalty of your high-risk profiles, which are, let's say, 20 to 40% maximum, and you ignore 60% of your audience.
And risk. I was in a talk earlier, actually, and they were talking about staking, and they mentioned, minimal risk, how to minimize risk. Well, why do you need risk?
Exactly.
So that's kind of our thing. Now, how we're building that is we're building it so that it's completely flexible. So you can have a token like that house that was around before electricity, and essentially, with our utilities, add electricity. You can have a renounced contract, a renounced token, and in DeFi, if you're ever aped into any project, went to Telegram, the first thing they ask is when renounced.
When marketing.
That too, when Moon, when Lambo, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. They want it to be completely trustless. They want you to have no control over your project. They don't like upgradable smart contracts. They don't want anything that you can use to scale and build for the future. So we offer solutions where you can actually have a renounced contract and you can still add utility. You can have a token from 4 years ago and still add something new. And that's nice. Go ahead. Boom, epic handshake. So with Strike Protocol and GDE, one of our solutions with using this rev share, not as a traditional, competitor to staking, is the idea that they have a free-to-play game, which is going to generate a lot of fiat revenue. And one of the reasons the ways that we're able to build value for our investor market is that, with rev share, we can actually share that profit off-chain with our investors.
On-chain.
Yeah, thanks. Stealing my thunder.
Yeah, so what we're doing is there is a fiat stream coming in, and we're making sure that the fiat stream is divided amongst loyal holders, and the holders are not required to lock. So grabbing the entire audience, you have 100% retention to any loyal investor, and therefore rewarding good behavior instead of punishing bad behavior.
Exactly. And how are we doing that, Tim?
Koopi magic.
Koopi magic. That's his term. I'm growing. It's growing on me. So, we're going to be building within the near future a lot more utilities, a lot more tools using this system we're calling Koopi Magic. And with that in mind, it's just flexibility. It's stuff that can scale while your project is still trustless, no risk. And that's the basic idea. Next slide. This is the kind of sum it all up slide. So basically, like I was saying before, what we did is we provided a Web2 company like GDE Entertainment that works in the gaming sector, and we were able to kind of find custom solutions to bridge their needs with on-chain utilities and just the benefits of using crypto.
Correct. So currently that market is transitioning from Web 2 to Web 3. It's a long process, and we're making sure that we're able to adapt. So right now we're talking to the distributors in the market who are very scared of losing their fiat stream. You have the situation with Apple, where the coming few months there's going to be the outcome of a couple of lawsuits in EU and in the States, which the entire market is waiting for, and meanwhile this model is just simply able to adapt. So by focusing on the loyalty element of the investor backing and providing a service that actually lets them choose whenever they want to make any actions, but reward them for when they are holding and being loyal, it gives this extra locking.
Exactly. Adapt, adapt, adapt. I almost wanted to make a slide actually that just said the word adapt. Right. Because even for situations like this, everything, the Web 2 sector, how they view crypto, how this happens, it changes every week. You can ask the same company one thing, and then next week they'll say something completely different. We don't like it. We love it. We hate it. We love it. Please give us more. It changes all the time. So that's part of what Koopi is adding and doing with GDE Entertainment as an example, is we're creating ways for them to adapt to succeed in a market that changes every hour. Not even second, even. Nanosecond?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I said my piece.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that covers everything. Is there anything else you wanted to cover? Cool. So, any questions? I think is this question time? I just made you guys get up. Yeah. If not, you will very easily find us. We are here. I am extremely tall. You can spot me out of any audience, any crowd, even when sitting. You could be surprised. You can still see my head. So yeah, if you guys ever want to talk, feel free.
Yep.
I did want to touch a little bit on the Croatian part.
Oh yeah. Right.
We are in Split.
Correct.
We live in and around Zagreb. Actually, GDE is a Croatian company as well. We're all locals. And we really believe in the idea that building local is very beneficial to not just us, but the community around us as well. And that's why I love the stuff that BlockSplit is doing. I've been here for a couple of years myself. Hrboka, those guys, we've met with them a few times. Just love the general idea. And I just think it's really cool.
Yeah, I agree. That was one of the advantages here because we're all based more or less around Zagreb. So also the finance provider we have is Zagreb based. The studio is nearby. We're able to go in, which helped a lot with, for example, talking to VCs or influencers around the globe that we could say, all right, we understand your feedback. We'll be in the office on Monday, which is something we're very happy to hear of as well, so that definitely helps a lot. Having a partner like Electrocoin on the project meant that we brought in Croatian finance to a global stage as well. Yeah, that for us was great because you get a lot of support. We have media coverage lined up for when the game comes out, for example, which will be in a couple of weeks. We've made sure that a lot of testing base is done locally outside of the company as well. And obviously supplementing on top of that.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. That's great. And if you need to contact us, so again, Hrboka@koopi.com. Did you have a question?
Yes, quick one.
Yeah, of course.
So how does the user experience crypto in your games?
They don't.
This is the adapting part.
No, initially we took, so the game design definitely has a lot of crypto elements. You could think in terms of NFTs, for example. The problem is that the gaming distributors do not like this model because they're afraid that the finance element is taken out from their hands. So right now we've kept a lot of crypto-ish elements inside the game, and within any time span, let's say 1 to 3 years, if the industry evolves further from Web 2 to Web 3, which gaming will at some point, then we're able to make the transition and the switch because that's already baked into a lot of the back code. Right now, the distributors are very resistant based on the last 2 years of the market with crypto games. Crypto games have been very much built on Ponzi-nomics, which eventually fall over. And they're protective of their fiat stream. So from a user perspective, we do have a financial play-to-earn model where they can take it out into crypto, but right now we're refusing the connection to get into crypto, using crypto to get into the game. So that element has been kept, which kind of pleases the gamers that they do have this option of taking it out towards crypto. Yeah, it's Yeah.
That's the adapt.
Yeah.
And find me next year. I'll have a whole presentation on all the stuff I want to say about that.
Yeah.
Should the market be cool with that? But yeah.
Yeah.
Good question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions?
Cool.
Guys?
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Once again, we are Koopi, GDE Entertainment, Strike Protocol. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.